Oral questions by members.
Leader of the Official Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Last night, unlike the Premier, I attended a meeting in Richmond where hundreds of residents voiced their fears. People have been left in limbo. Some fear their mortgages, insurance, and property values are at risk because of the Cowichan ruling. Given that this government did not argue extinguishment, which is at the centre of this uncertainty, will the government step in and provide insurance and mortgage guarantees to property owners affected by this decision? Yes or no?
Attorney General.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was also at the meeting last night, and I was joined by two ministers of this government, the Minister for Emergency Preparedness and Climate Readiness and the Minister for Indigenous Reconciliation. And it was a very important meeting to attend, and we were there because we wanted to hear directly from landowners that may be impacted by the court decision. BC was the first out of the gate to say that we would be appealing the decision because of what we see is impacts on the private property holders that were in that decision. We were first out of the gate, and Mr. Speaker, another thing that I announced very early is that we would be seeking a stay of the decision. And as such, we are gathering information from those that might be impacted to support that stay, and we'll keep at it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member supplemental.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'm glad that the Attorney General had the courage to be able to be there. She did have a moment to say a few words, although she didn't have the courage to take questions, which many people had on their minds out there. She did try to answer some of those questions, but I do find it interesting, you know, because the members from the Conservative side from Richmond, of course, were there, have been involved right from the beginning, unlike some of the members opposite from Richmond. As well as, of course, as our critic, their co-critic on Indigenous relations. But what I found really interesting last night is the Attorney General has talked about the fact that they did argue the protection of rights, even though last night we learned that the provincial legal team was labouring under a litigation directive that constrained their ability to argue extinguishment. And you can see page 15 of the BC's directive for the evidence of that. So in light of this information, and in light of the fact that there is so much uncertainty in Richmond, how can this government truly stand up and argue that it was trying to protect private property rights?
Attorney General.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was glad to be able to speak at that meeting and speak with many residents where I was able to answer, along with my colleagues, questions directly with them. Mr. Speaker, this claim was filed in 2014. At that time, the Leader of the Opposition was in government and was a cabinet minister. And I would just ask him to take a look back at the pleadings that were filed, or the response that was filed on his behalf inside of government, what he pled. There was no pleading of extinguishment of Aboriginal title when this claim started. Mr. Speaker,
Members,
Mr. Speaker,
members has the courtesy to listen to the answer, please.
Mr. Speaker, we argued based on the case law. It's been years in any court in this country that's been very clear that the province does not have exclusive jurisdiction to extinguish Aboriginal title. What we constructed our arguments were based on was about protecting private property rights through our arguments of suspension and displacement, that once you have a fee simple title, it is protected. And we were clear on that in our arguments, Mr. Speaker. The City of Richmond made the argument of extinguishment. They lost on that argument. We are working hard on an appeal right now that makes it clear to the court that we disagree with their findings with respect to private property interests. We were the first out of the gate to appeal it, and we'll continue our work working together with all parties to get to a resolution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Surrey White Rock.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For weeks, we have warned this government that 850 seniors could have nowhere to live. On October 31st, the minister will cut the funding that keeps care homes open, nurses off the floor, shutting down beds, and leaving seniors stranded in hospitals, or worse than that, the streets. How does this health minister justify this cut?
Minister of Health.
Thank you so much, Honourable Speaker. Thank you to the member for the question. We all need to know that our parents and our grandparents are safe, securely cared for, receiving the dignified, safe care that they deserve. Mr. Speaker, we are committed to working with our partners in the nonprofit, the affiliate sectors, in the long-term care sector as we work through this transition. And that is to understand the challenges that they are facing and to support them through that transition. And that work is going to continue. Mr. Speaker, this government has been so dedicated to the seniors file and improving care standards for long-term care homes to make sure that people are safe in those homes. Mr. Speaker, when we formed government, we took action immediately, establishing a capital funding envelope for long-term care that by 2023 had grown to $2 billion. Replacing and building 1,300 beds already, another 4,300 on the way. In fact, over $3.5 billion invested into seniors care, be it long-term care homes, community-based services, primary care. Mr. Speaker, nothing could be more important, and we'll continue this work together with the sector.
Member supplemental.
Well, if nothing could be more important, then the minister would step in and actually continue funding this and not cut this program on Friday, Mr. Speaker. We are 48 hours away from this cut. Families are in panic, and the speech that this minister just gave is absolutely embarrassing. I will give her another chance. Will the minister step in today and reverse this cut and protect our seniors? Yes or no? Not a speech, it's a yes or a no.
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've been clear as we've canvassed this topic that we are working with the sector through this transition, that this was a temporary measure established to help through some incredibly trying times. Mr. Speaker, that work's going to continue, but we know and we experienced during the pandemic just what those trying times meant for people living in these homes, and knowing that when we formed government, 9 out of 10 of these homes were not meeting care standards. Mr. Speaker, this opposition laid off, they passed laws that led to the firing of 10,000 workers. Mr. Speaker, completely unacceptable.
Members.
Mr. Speaker, we're taking a different approach. We are working with the sector on some of the root causes around training and hiring more workers, around bringing care homes up to the standards that we expect for the people that we love. Mr. Speaker, we are going to continue this work. We are going to work with operators. We're going to work with the sector to make it through this and have the long-term, reliable sector that families need to know their loved ones are living in. Thank you.
House Leader of the Third Party.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Successive governments in this province have committed acts of genocide against the First Peoples of this land, causing irreparable harm. That is not a statement up for debate, it's a statement of fact. It is ours and this government's duty to reconcile the wrongs committed by the Crown against Indigenous nations. That's why this government passed DRIPA, and with it a legal and moral obligation to act. Many court decisions, including Delgamuukw, have made this clear. Aboriginal title and rights exist and must be reconciled. To the Minister of Indigenous Relations and Reconciliation, what concrete steps is this government taking to uphold its commitments under DRIPA, not just in principle, but in practice?
Minister of Indigenous Relations and Reconciliation.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and I want to thank the House Leader of the Third Party for his commitment to the Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. It's an important act. It's an act that has allowed us to work in concert with First Nations to forward reconciliation in a good way. I'd say I'm looking forward to bringing to this House treaties with Comox Nation, with Kitselis Nation, should the vote pass. They're voting November 1st. Kitsum-Kalem Nation. Treaty is one of the most important ways that we can find that path to reconciliation. But there are many other paths too, other agreements we can work on. I know I was proud to stand alongside the House Leader of the opposition at a recent bringing back the lightning rock to the Samath people in Abbotsford. We stood there together to bring that land back to the Samath because it had been taken wrongly. It's an important site for them. But indeed, there are stories like that all across this province. And there are stories of such economic opportunity that we're building billions and billions of investments in this province with First Nations. Thousands and thousands of jobs with First Nations in this province, together, united. That's how we build a better province.
Member has supplemental.
It's heartening to hear how this government and this minister describes the strong commitments to reconciliation. And it makes me wonder, why is that same approach not being taken with the Cowichan Tribe's decision? Misinformation and lack of clarity on this issue from both sides of this House have created fear and confusion. This government's caucus can't even seem to get it straight. One day they say Aboriginal title should be suspended. Next day they say it should be respected. The temperature on this issue is high, Mr. Speaker. I was also in the room last night, and if last night's Richmond meeting is any indication, people want answers. To the Minister of Indigenous Relations and Reconciliation, is the plan now to suspend Aboriginal title?
Attorney General.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our approach as a government has been to bring people together, to try to solve really complicated problems that the province is facing, whether it's through a court case or whether it's through our economic development plans, whether it's through everything. Sitting at a table and solving problems together is how we move forward. It's no different than our approach with reconciliation. It's the right of every nation and an individual to meet the government in court. And of course, that's part of the work that we need to do, and we need to respond in court. And Mr. Speaker, we haven't changed our approach. In this incident, we think we've been very clear about our position with respect to private property rights, along with our many examples like the Haida Agreement, where we sat down with nations and come up to agreement where we can respect title and property rights. We'll continue to do that work. Thank you.
Leader of the Fourth Party.
Mr. Speaker, homeowners in Richmond woke up recently to find that they may not own their own homes. A judge gave their properties to an Indigenous band that had fished there over 150 years ago. Mr. Speaker, there are 204 bands in this province, and I don't hear any of them saying that they've given up their claims. My question is for the Premier. With 204 bands in BC, how many more title cases could be coming down the pike? Just the number, please.
Minister of Indigenous Relations.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. You know, I think it's important that we focus on where we can come to agreement with each other. And I think there are nations all across this province who are keen to reconcile with this province. It's important to know that this province didn't enter treaty with most nations as other provinces did. I wish we did. I wish we had. That would have helped nations, that would have helped this province have a lot more certainty today than we do. But I don't believe that the path to a better future is through division. I don't believe it's through denying the history of this province. It's through acknowledging that this province has made missteps, has made errors, have caused violence and harm and trauma to First Nations people through laws that were passed in this room. We have to acknowledge that history. But you know, when you acknowledge history, you start to get lighter. You start to find ways to see each other in a way that this building had denied us, in the way that our cultures had pushed us apart. It starts to lead you to a more hopeful future, where you can stand alongside each other to build that economy of the future, to build that family, to build that home, to build that community that we all want. And that's what we must do, not through the politics of division, through denial, through making people invisible, through calling them names.
Thank you, Member.
But through uniting in a positive path for a better future. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Member has supplemental.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I did ask for a number. But if judges don't take away the homes of British Columbians, then this government will. This government is doing the bidding of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples by voluntarily giving away Aboriginal title across this province. They gave it away to the Haida last year. They're giving it away to the Seashell Band right now. And they're holding secret talks to give it away to who knows how many more as we speak. Mr. Speaker, my question is for the Premier. How many bands is he currently in talks with about giving away Aboriginal title? No lectures on reconciliation, please. Just the number.
Minister of Indigenous Relations.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Well, I'm really glad that our high school system and our education system teaches about Indigenous education, teaches about Aboriginal rights and title, teaches about the true history of this province, because it's clear some people have not learned anything from history. I'm sorry that some members didn't get the chance to learn about the true history of this province, the rich history that goes back thousands upon thousands of years, a rich history full of vital culture, vital language. And you know, Honourable Speaker, if the member chose to learn about that history, her life would be better too. Our province would be better too. So you know, Honourable Speaker, treaties are an important method that we find that certainty. It's a way of finding agreement of how we work together and how we live together. It's a path of honour and a path of peace. And I would urge the member to look to how we find agreement to work together as opposed to focusing on trying to divide us so we fight each other. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Member for Richmond Centre.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Can the Minister tell us how many long-term care and assisted living beds are at risk of closing per Health Authority? We want the numbers, not a long glorified speech. Thank you.
Minister of Health.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Thank you to the member for the question. This is a large sector, and the topic we're canvassing here around the temporary funding that was brought in to support overtime and overtime and agency staffing is a really important one, because we have to work towards a system that provides the stable, safe care for seniors, for the people that we love who are residents of these homes. Mr. Speaker, that's why, as I've already said today, we are committed to working with operators through the transition to understand the particular challenges that they might be facing at those facilities. And while the number that the opposition has cited is representative of around 6% of the number of beds, and I know that it matters deeply to each family, and I want to be very clear that people are not going to be ejected from their homes, that the fear-mongering that's going on here is very, very destabilizing for people. We're here to support people. This government is here to support people, and that's why we're going to continue to do the work that we have to do, investing in long-term care to make up for years of neglect that we took on when we formed government, Mr. Speaker. The first government in BC to establish a minimum care standard of 3.36 hours per week per day for residents. Mr. Speaker, we're supporting the people who deliver this care. We're going to continue this work. Thank you.
Member for Abbotsford South.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Let me help the minister answer that question. She seems incapable of it. There's at least 60 in Fraser Health, 135 in Coastal Health, 241 in Island Health, and 466 in Interior Health. You might want to write that down so you know your numbers for next time.
Members through the chair.
Mr. Speaker, Three Links Care Society in Vancouver is at risk of closing 90 long-term care beds. Now, I realize the member for Vancouver-Renfrew has limitations when it comes to defending their government, so I'll defend the seniors in his riding for him. On behalf of the member, will the minister stop these Halloween cuts today and restore funding, yes or no?
Minister of Health.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. We are going to continue our work with this sector to deliver safe care for the people that we love, to continue to support the care aides, the housekeepers, the cooks, the nurses, the doctors, the administrators, the people who care for them. And I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to each and every one of those workers for what they do in these facilities. But, Mr. Speaker, I don't need to take any lessons from the opposition about investing in seniors' care. Mr. Speaker, when you form government and realize that 9 out of 10 facilities are not meeting standards, government standards, that is appalling. Our seniors deserve better. And that is why our government has invested in renewing beds, building new beds, investing in the training that's needed for the staff to take care of the people that we love. And we are not going to stop this work, because nothing could be more important than caring for these people and assuring their families that they are receiving the safe standard of care that they deserve.
Member for Boundary Milkman.
It is clear that this minister is making decisions without understanding the implications. For my riding, 10 beds in Grand Forks. Will the minister stop these cuts, yes or no?
Minister of Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, we're going to continue to work with operators. We're going to understand the challenges that they're facing, and we're going to work with them through a transition into a place, Mr. Speaker, where we're building up the workforce that needed the investment when we formed government. We're going to continue to support those people. We're going to grow that workforce by continuing to recruit and to train more healthcare assistants, for example, Mr. Speaker. But we're also going to continue the work in building and renovating these facilities that need that support. Mr. Speaker, we're going to continue to improve services so that seniors can stay at home. It is so vitally important to honor the fact that so many people want to stay at home for as long as they possibly can. So investing in community supports, investing in long-term care at-home programs. Mr. Speaker, this is the work that we're going to continue to do so that our seniors get the care and the support that they need, and that their families know that their loved ones are safe.
Member for Surrey Serpentine River. Member.
154 long-term beds at Harold Park Centre Society are closing. In the member for Vancouver West riding, will he stand up today and request that his minister stop these cuts? Yes or no?
Minister of Health.
Thank you so much, Honourable Speaker. Again, this is about working with the sector, not about fear-mongering and bringing in words that are striking fear in the families' hearts of people that need to know their seniors are safe. That's why we're going to work with the sector. Mr. Speaker, that's why we're going to continue rebuilding long-term care and supports for seniors after they were devastated by the members opposite. Mr. Speaker, we haven't forgotten. We haven't forgotten what happened when members opposite were on this side of the House. And Mr. Speaker, once again, knowing that when we formed government, when we went into the COVID pandemic, knowing that the gaps were being exposed and seeing what it meant when people were forced to work in multiple facilities, putting our seniors at risk of infection. Mr. Speaker, that's why our government's made changes. That's why our government's brought in minimum standards of care. That's why our government's investing in the workers that are needed to meet those, so people know that their loved ones are safe.
Member for Columbia River Revelstoke.
Mr. Speaker, I can't believe the answers I'm hearing. On Friday, 34 seniors in my riding will be forced from their home and shoved into the hallway of the East Kootenay Regional Hospital. Will the minister extend agency nurse funding today? Yes or no?
Minister of Health.
Honourable Speaker, the member's assertion is absolutely not true. And it is irresponsible. It is irresponsible to say those words in this House and to have the members of his community hear that when they are absolutely not true. Mr. Speaker, we are working with the sector on transition through ending a COVID-era measure of funding. Mr. Speaker, we're going to continue to invest in training and recruiting more workers, addressing the root causes of some of these problems, understanding from operators what the particular challenges that they are facing is. Mr. Speaker, we're going to continue that work because it is so vitally important that people know, that families know, that their loved ones are being served well, are in safe homes, are being well cared for, and that we can continue to work with the sector knowing that those investments in our senior is all about the future of seniors' health care in long-term facilities.
Member from Bulkley Valley. Member.
Bulkley Valley's Keene, Minister.
Member, please continue.
Thank you. Well, the news doesn't get any better, Mr. Speaker. There's cuts all over the province. 154 long-term care beds at the Rosewood Manor are at risk of closing in Richmond. Will the member for Richmond-Stevenson tell the minister to stop these cuts, yes or no?
Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and thank you to the member for the question. And I want to say thank you for coming up to my office yesterday to talk to me about a long-term care issue in her community. That is the way work gets done, Mr. Speaker, when I'm able to sit down and talk with a member about issues that they are facing in their constituency. Mr. Speaker, we have made the commitment. We are working with long-term care operators who are coming forward. We are working with the sector. We are working with the BC Care Providers Association to understand challenges that different facilities are facing. Mr. Speaker, it is so vitally important that we move forward, ensuring that the recruitment is in place, that the staffing is in place, that our seniors are getting the care that they deserve. And this government is going to stay focused on that, and not just in long-term care facilities, Mr. Speaker. We are going to continue investing in the supports that people need at home, through the Better at Home program, for example, Mr. Speaker, the partnership that we have with the United Way that delivers care for people right in their homes. We know that that's what seniors are looking for. Investing in day programs. Mr. Speaker, continuing a long-term care at home, an innovative pilot to help seniors stay at home longer. This work is going to continue because, as I have said time and time again today, Mr. Speaker, we know families need to understand and feel that their loved ones are safe and secure in these facilities and in their homes. Thank you.
Member for Caribou-Chilcotin.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. In Caribou-Chilcotin, more than 100 long-term care beds are at risk of potential closure on Friday. Will this minister stand before this House and stop these cuts? Yes or no?
Minister.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Thank you to the member for the question. And again, we're going to continue to work with operators in his riding and others who come forward. Health authorities are meeting with operators and understanding the challenges that they have so that we can support them through a transition, Mr. Speaker, away from depending on temporary measures of funding and into a stable, predictable, Mr. Speaker, stable and predictable supports around more healthcare aides working in these facilities, Mr. Speaker, around supporting the minimum standards of care. The minimum standards of care that this government brought in. Mr. Speaker, we're going to continue investing in this sector by renewing beds that needed to be replaced, by building new facilities, with 36 facilities either complete or underway to improve and expand access to supports for seniors at home. This work is not going to stop.
Member for Courtenay-Comox.
We will continue. This side of the House is going to continue to represent not only our residents, but the residents of your side, because you are leaving those seniors in the dust, Mr. Speaker.
Members.
On Friday, this minister knows exactly what's going to happen. Seniors will end up in hospital hallways or worse. As Vaughn Palmer put it, this government only does the right thing when they've exhausted every other option. We've been here before. I still remember Charlie Pollock and advocating for that riding. We're here today while the beds are closed in NDP ridings, entire non-profit facilities in the former Minister of Health's riding. It shouldn't be up to us to do your job. Shame on you.
Member, through
And
the chair,
don't-
member, through the chair.
I'll
Lisa.
continue. Don't just take it from me. In the minister's own words this fall, quote, operators are experiencing cost pressures, so I have committed and we will be providing additional overtime and agency costs. It's important to keep them whole, end quote. Well, they're not whole, Mr. Speaker. Staffing shortages have gotten worse. The funding model is still not
Question,
resolved.
member.
And despite this minister's promises,
Question, member.
nothing has happened.
Question, member.
In February 2024, the feds announced $733 million for BC over 5 years under the Aging with Dignity Agreement to fix this problem. Where did the money go? Debt servicing?
Question,
Mr.
member.
Speaker, has the minister really exhausted every other option, and will she finally do the right thing and end these cuts? Yes or no?
Can we have the minister to answer the question? The chair will recognize when the opposition stop making noise. Please, Minister of Health.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The member makes it very clear what he will continue to do, and I want to make it very clear what we will continue to do. Mr. Speaker, we will continue to improve the safety of long-term care homes. Mr. Speaker, we will continue to enhance services to help seniors stay at home longer. Mr. Speaker,
Members, please conclude.
what we will never do is what they did. We will never leave 9 out of 10 homes not meeting government standards. We will never pass legislation leading to the laying off of 10,000 workers, Mr. Speaker. We will never freeze safer supplements like they did, Mr. Speaker. What we will do is keep our focus on the people that we love and the safety that they need, the security and the dignity of the excellent and exceptional care that people are providing every single day in this province to the people that we love.
The bell and the question period.